the comment was that when we landed, we were scared. We were scared to come off. We've seen all these people behind us and our families and that, and we just didn't expect it. We didn't expect it. We didn't realise the coverage it had made, and you know, we were just doing an ordinary job, we thought. It's something that in your circumstance, you probably would have done it. So it was an ordinary thing, but obviously everyone didn't think it was ordinary, and now we're here and we think, well, maybe it was something a bit more special than we realised. So.
Do you think it's true that when the cameras have gone home and the dust, if you like, has settled on this, that will be the hardest time for you and the guys and the families?
Yeah, I reckon it will. I reckon the cameras and the media, the radio, the whole lot have really helped the individuals along, both in Bali and here, because it's like our counselling session. We've been able to talk about and how you're feeling and all that type of stuff, and especially for, you know, for the young. There's a lot of young blokes here, and Macca next to me is one that he's one that just likes the talking, and it's really helped him. And at a point in Bali, he was one that was probably ready to crack, but since back in Perth, he's just flourished, and that's due to being able to talk, whether it's to media, whether it's to these blokes behind us, whether it's to the mum and dad. And I think it's been difficult to speak to your parents direct. I've found it, and my family, but speaking to the 11 guys, and obviously the family of the deceased, the 7, and there's a couple of partners here, that's been the easiest people to talk to, and of course my wife as well, Norrie.
Macca, let's put you to the test. They say some men are born great leaders. Is that true of Simon?
That's exactly true. You know, just as Simon was saying, I was probably one of the first that would have cracked if it wasn't for people like Simon, and I think a lot of us would have just gone without someone to just keep lifting our spirits and just keep us on the move every day and just always minding the job.
Well, fellas, we thank you so much, and everybody, the families as well, for coming in. We know how hard this day is, not just for you guys, but for everyone in this country. A big round of applause, please, and good luck tonight. Well, Aussie blokes aren't exactly renowned for their ability to show their emotions, but in the images from Bali of young men coping with extraordinary grief, we've seen that to hug, cry and mourn with your mates is where the healing begins. Our next song from Melbourne could hardly be more appropriate. Here's Mark Seymour with Throw Your Arms Around Me.
I will come to you at night time. I will raise you from your sleep. I will kiss you in 4 places. I'll go running along your street. I will squeeze the life out of you. You will make me laugh and make me cry. We will never forget it. You will make me call your name, and I'll shout it to the blue summer sky. We may never meet again, so shed your skin and let's get started. You will throw your arms around me. I dreamed of you at night time, and I watched you in your sleep. I met you in high places. I touched your head and touched your feet. So if you disappear out of view, you know I will never say goodbye. Though I try to forget it, you will make me call your name, and I'll shout it to the blue summer sky. We may never meet again, so shed your skin and let's get started. You will throw your arms around me. You will throw your arms around me. We may never meet again, so shed your skin and let's get started. Throw your arms around me. You will throw your arms around me. You will throw your arms around me. Yeah, you will throw your arms around me. You will throw your arms around me. Arms around me.
It ripped mother from child and it ripped lover from lover. It ripped future careers away from the hopeful young. It ripped future seasons away from all the footballers, and it ripped the heart out of the rest of us. And all of us, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, we all have to stick together on this. The terrorists have won if we fall apart.
Well, hey, the emotions that we are experiencing tonight clearly show that we are not going to be beaten. Help us, help the victims if you can, and please donate. We have a host of celebrities standing by here in the studio, ready to take your call. We've got Lisa McCune and Molly Meldrum and Magda Zubanski, just to name a few. And shortly after the break, we're going live to Sydney, and Ian Thorpe and the big acts, John Farnham, Powderfinger, Casey Chambers, Neil Finn, Marsha Hines, and a heap of others pay their tributes.
To the families and friends affected by the tragedy in Bali, I'd like to express to you my sympathy. But sympathy is just a word. It's a nice way of saying that I understand. But I don't understand, and I cannot fathom the pain and suffering that you and your families are going through right now. But I can ask Australians to please help Australia unite. I can tell them to call the number on the screen and make a donation to show you how much we care. We got to look after our own, and if we're not strong, we can't look after anybody else.
These two sisters have discovered the key to success.
I'm going to win, you know.
It's Verity defending. Just watch your back. You'll end up with a stiletto in it before you know.
In a battle of the sexes.
Which one of your lovers was that?
That's my mother-in-law.
They must win at all costs.
The sergeant is a man of considerable experience of relationships with women.
Gynecologically speaking.
They're completely unpredictable.
You live in interest.
By Australians. And people in Britain now are feeling for Australia and for the Australian people at this terrible time. We've had long experience of terrorism in Britain, and we know the sheer cruelty, the arbitrary nature of it, the fact that innocent people get caught up in something that is so appalling and without any justification at all. And this is a time for us to renew our determination, of course, to fight terrorism, but also to unite within our countries and across our countries, across the world, in our grief and in our commitment to do everything we can to help those that are suffering as a result of what the terrorists have done.
Welcome back to Australians Unite. I'm Sonia Kruger in the Sydney studios, ready to take your calls. A stack of celebrities here, including Eric Thompson, Marcus Graham, Shelley Craft, and a whole lot more. The pledges and donations are coming through. We'd like to thank Debbie Theobald from Mount Waverley in Victoria, who's pledged $200, and Amanda Coppin, who's pledged her pocket money, 10-year-old Amanda from Tasmania. Thank you very much for that, and back to you, Naomi. Thank you, Sonia. Well, with me here on the panel, I have Australia's superfish Ian Thorpe, Ernie Dingo from the Great Outdoors and the New South Wales Premier Bob Carr. And thank you to you all for being here tonight. Now, Ernie, you've obviously been to Bali with the Great Outdoors a number of times, haven't you?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Does this make you nervous about travelling overseas? And I know you...
Absolutely makes you nervous about it. Our job is to find travel destinations for Australians to go to, places where we can be a part of another part of the world and enjoy those places. It scares you a bit.
Bali is one of the least likely places you would have imagined this to happen, isn't it?
Well, for those of you who have ever been to Bali, you'd find out how wonderful the people are, how open, a lifestyle that's sort of laid back, and it's affordable in so many ways, where people do go there and experience a different culture and enjoy the food and enjoy the lifestyle, the whole thing, and puts a little dampener on what's going to happen to the economy in Bali, knowing that they used to get a hell of a lot of finance from the Australian public.
Now, Premier Carr, obviously people are very nervous about travelling now, and from your intelligence, how long do you think it might be that the Australian government will say to Australians, we don't want you to go to Bali? Because at this point it's rather difficult, isn't it?
I think it'll be a very long time before...
Because I think a lot of people are actually thinking, oh, well, look, I'll pop over there in a couple of months' time, but what would you say to that?
I think it'll be a long, long time before Bali is considered safe. I mean, the Indonesian government hasn't quite got the capacity to clean out those terrorist networks, and that's going to make it hard. And Indonesia's a big land. It's the biggest Muslim country in the world, so there are a lot of places for people of malign intent to run off and hide. I feel very sorry for the decent Indonesians.
Yes.
I feel very, very sorry for the Balinese in particular.
And the Balinese who are also innocent victims in this tragedy too, aren't they? Well, Ian Thorpe, thank you for joining us. You've never been to Bali, and at this stage it looks like you won't be going for a very long time.
No, I won't. I mean, it seems like it was an amazing place, and it's, a very popular place for a number of, different Australians, whether they be young or older Australians, and it's a place that I would have loved to have had the opportunity to go to.
Now, one thing that you have done tonight is you've brought along something that will, I think, really help with this appeal. What have you brought?
Well, I have one of my swimsuits, which is from the Commonwealth Games. I actually signed it, and I don't usually give away too many of these, but for this evening, I've decided that I'll donate it to the cause.
Well, we thank you so much for that, and I should let you know that the last one of these that you donated raised $50,000. So we are hoping to raise more than that this time. So please, when you see that this goes to auction, I hope you dig very deep. So thank you very much for that, Ian. And I bet the Red Cross is extremely happy about that. And Melissa Doyle is with the Secretary General of the Australian Red Cross, Martine Letts. Melissa?
Naomi, thank you very much. Martine, obviously very generous of Ian Thorpe and very generous of everybody here tonight, all calling in. Tell us exactly where all the money raised will go.
Melissa, the money that we raise tonight, and we hope for quite some time to come, will go to the victims, the families of the victims of this terrible disaster, victims in Australia as well as those in Bali.
That's the thing too, isn't it? Bali also needs our help, don't they?
Bali is tremendously important, and we're in the middle of assessing now what the needs are. We've got a team in Bali, which is going to be a team of 7 as of Monday, who are talking to the Indonesian Red Cross, talking to the hospital to make sure that we can deliver as much assistance as is needed.
Is there anything else that you need? I remember hearing during the week that you were actually inundated with so many people offering to donate blood that at the time you had to turn them away. That is incredible.
As long as people make an appointment to donate blood, many will know that, for example, those with serious injuries, particularly burn victims, will need continuous supplies of blood for quite some time. So please continue to make an appointment with the blood service, because we're going to need your blood and blood products for a long time, for the next few weeks, maybe even months. So give generously there too, please.
Well, on behalf of everybody, what the Red Cross is doing is fantastic, and I'm sure we all agree we are so grateful that we can help you help all the victims. So
we thank you for your support. We thank all the volunteers from all the organisations we've been dealing with, and above all the Australian people. It's been absolutely astounding and really heartening. Thanks,
fantastic.
Melissa.
Martine, thank you. Andrew.
Thanks, Mel. I'm joined by the Premier of Victoria, Steve Bracks. Now, you've been on the phone already?
Yes, I have, Andrew. I lifted up the phones as soon as the the bell went, the phones went off, and I had a caller from Melbourne called Helen, and she donated $50, and I expect there's going to be many, many people donating lots of money.
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
And look, when we first heard about the appeal, when it was launched on Wednesday, we gave as a government $500,000. But I want to congratulate Channel 7. It's a fantastic initiative to get everyone else behind it. And we're going to kick in a further $100,000 tonight to make it $600,000. And, you know, I hope many, many people from around Victoria, from around Australia give generously, because it's going to make a difference, I think, for the families, the friends and those people involved.
Yeah, they were terrific about the extra $100,000. Thanks. I'll let you get back to the phone. Steve Brack's there. Look, those first on the scene in Bali, the expats, the doctors, the nurses on holiday, the tourists, the local Balinese, found a strength within that's hard for us to comprehend back in Australia. In fact, we can't. I don't know how we can. Well, in Bali, tonight, Graham Butler joins us live.
Andrew, it is hard to imagine, but I can tell you that it has just been the most extraordinary effort here in Bali. And when we talk about Australians uniting, we'll have a look at these people behind me, because they're the ones that made a huge difference. Dr. David Marsh and his wife Claire were here on holiday from Victoria. David, you're at the hospital. How important is this appeal?
Graham, this is a small cross-section of people who were there on Sunday that witnessed the horror and the tragedy firsthand. It is vitally important that we get behind not just the Australian victims, but the Balinese and the Balinese people in general.
And Melina, you were there as well. Well, what's your message to people back in Australia?
That it's going to be a long road of recovery for a lot of people, and we just want you to give and give all you can.
And Kim, you're a nurse at the hospital helping so many. What's your message?
Yeah. I know you've seen a lot on television and the media about what's happened here, but nothing can depict the devastation that's happened. So please support us as much as you can.
Absolutely. Before we go, just one final message from everyone here in Bali, and what's that?
Please give.
Okay, Andrew, back to you in Melbourne from Bali.
Thanks, Graham. And let's not forget that 13 locals lost their lives as well. We'll go to Perth now. This is Bachelor Girl.
Many of the people who died in Bali were young, and in death they live on in our memories as forever young. May God bless be with you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb gift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. Forever young.
As an Australian and as a world citizen, I'm devastated by the recent events in Bali. My thoughts and my love are with the victims and their families at this time. You can help by calling the number at the bottom of your screen to make a donation to help Australia unite. Thank you.
Well, it is just impossible for us to understand the grief and the pain felt by those who lost friends and family. And as far away as London, many expats are feeling the same as we are.
Here in London last weekend, it was already getting cold, and when the bad news came through from Bali, it suddenly got cold enough to chill the blood. When we were young, it was a big thing when the kids went off alone to the beach for the day. The parents would try not to sound too anxious. Don't forget the zinc cream. Don't lie too long in the sun. Get out of the water straight away when you hear the shark bell. And the kids would go off for another day of learning how to look after themselves, and they'd come back after sunset, an hour late, 2 hours late. The parents would be waiting at the top of the street. You're trying to kill your mother with worry? Get inside. For parents and for children alike, it was part of growing older. And the basis of the deal was that the kids always came back. Well, this time, some of them didn't. And those of us who had the privilege of growing to a ripe old age can only say to the parents and the relatives of our young compatriots who got no further than being young, or if they survived, have to live with a broken body, some good might come out of all this. It might bring us closer together. It might remind us that we're a tolerant nation, and we should be proud of that, even as sadness becomes part of the pride, part of the price.
A knock at the door is going to produce the...
Inasmuch as it's possible for me to convey it to you, that grief is shared by people in the UK who I talk to on a daily basis, and people in Ireland. And while this is a programme about Australians uniting, as they already are, clearly, I would like to, if it's possible for me, to convey to you an understanding that the rest of the world will do whatever it can to take Australia through this great moment of national sorrow and to contribute the physical manifestation of that sorrow, which is the money we're all going to give tonight, to help the victims' families, the victims themselves, those of them that are still with us. It doesn't in any way lessen the grief, the sorrow, or the tragedy, but it is the only way that we know where we can visibly articulate or manifest to you the shared suffering of which we know only a tiny portion, but we can try and begin to comprehend.
It is just impossible to comprehend it all, but We are doing all that we can to help. Now, with me, I've got some of the celebrities who've been answering your calls, your extremely generous calls and all the donations. Lisa, let's start with you. People have just been amazing, haven't they? Wanting to help in any way possible.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And this First Lady is from Christmas Island. Her name is Barbara Murdoch, and she has donated $100, which is fantastic. And I'll just read a quick message out from Luke Royce from Queensland, who's 17. And he sent this message: in this time of great mourning, let us remember the heroes who have worked and are still working in Bali and in hospitals across Australia to bring comfort to the families of the missing, dead and injured. Hear, Luke. I think that's fabulous.
Oh, he said it beautifully,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Molly, how about you? Have you gone?
Yes, Bruce McIntosh of Sylvania, $100, and a message from Belinda from New South Wales. My thoughts go out to all the people affected by this tragic event. Let's show the world that the Aussie ideals of mateship and equality will not be affected by those who seek hatred and division.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's the Aussie mateship that's come out so much in all of this. Everyone's just money, blood, anything that they can do to help. Magda, you've had lots of calls. Tell us about some of them.
This is a message from the Waratini Wanahu family of South Australia, and they say, my family and extended family are really sorry for all the families that are suffering and hurting from this act of terrorism. Kia kaha, be strong. Our thoughts are with you at this time of sorrow. Oraha nui, all our love. And there's also from Kevin Jones of French's Forest, New South Wales, who's donated $100. So thank you.
People are so generous. $100 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Glenn.
Melissa. Lisa Gridley of Bronte in New South Wales, $75. And a 15-year-old girl, Stacey Carins from Queensland, says here, I pray for you and your families that they may overcome this tragedy.
How about you guys, just on a personal level, and I'll probably ask you, I mean, obviously I think the sentiments of the messages that have been coming in reflect what we're all thinking, but it's fair to say that I think everyone has just been overwhelmed.
It's hard to actually comprehend it, and it's hard to really understand your own emotions, and it's probably at best to share it with other people through something like this, and then you realise actually how you feel about it when you hear other people.
I think one thing which is amazing with Australia is that, and this was shown, and Magda and I were talking about it before we came on, of how, as much as all this tragedy has happened, of how the true Australian, of how they come out and help everybody, you know? I mean, there's been the most amazing bravery stories coming out of Bali, and even here, of how Australians just open up their arms to help their fellow men. It's just fantastic.
It's who we are. It's kind of what makes our country so fantastic, isn't it? Sandy, tell us about some of the calls
It
we've
certainly is, Melissa, yes. And I've got one. Everyone knows how tough it is in the Australian outback and the bush at the moment. And this is very generous of Mark Fairbrother from an area that is doing it tough, and that is Avoca in northern Victoria. He has donated $1,000. And little Morgan Kennedy is just 2 years of age, Melissa. She's donated $50. And I think, just in closing, we have received a huge number of emails and faxes in the past 24 hours. I mean, a couple of days ago we had 9 minutes of content here at Channel 7 for this program. I think at the moment we've got about 3 days, so I don't know how we're going to fit it all in. But while the grieving is going to take a long, long time to overcome, Karen Law from New South Wales has sent us an email saying simply to remember the good times and the smiles of your loved ones and the people of Bali, and continue to search for peace in our troubled times. I think that sums it up pretty well.
Beautifully said. Thanks, guys. And I think the other thing to remember too is it's not just Australians that have been hurt in this tragedy. You read a message from a family in New Zealand wanting to spend. There's been so many people around the world affected by this. Andrew?
I've got a lot of 7 Network celebrities behind me, and a gentleman here who I would love to have met under different circumstances, Gene Simmons from KISS. I'm happy to say that you called us for the appeal.
Yes, I did. We're here in Australia because we've always been treated just terrifically in the country. We love Australia. I've always had a soft part in my heart for Australia, but there's something that's going on, and perhaps, unfortunately, it's a wake-up call because it's happening in your own backyard. And my heart goes out to the victims and their families, but I want you to do something at home. Get off your butts, pick up the phone and do something, because when you pick up the phone and call us here, it sends a bullet right into the heart of these bad guys. And make no mistake about it, this is a war, and it's happening around the world. And if you think Australia is different, you're wrong. It's going to happen in your own backyard, and you have to do something about it. The first thing you can do is to get up, call me right here on the phone, pledge. Let's do something together. Come on.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for coming in. I'll let you get to the phone and do your bit too. Gene Simmons from KISS. Now, look, his response really was typical once we spread the word, and people started calling us in New Zealand. There is one person dead, there are 11 people injured. 2 days ago, we received a telephone call from a special man.
Hello, Australia. I'm here in Auckland and I'd like to send all my love and my sympathy to everyone who's suffering pain and loss as a result of the bombing in Bali. I'd also really hope that the love and the compassion we feel at this time can endure and extend to all the people of the world who continue to suffer at the hands of others.
There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, and you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, will they come, build a wall between us, we know they won't win. Now I'm towing my car, there's a hole in the roof, my possessions are causing me suspicion, but there's no proof. In the paper today, tales of war and of waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, will they come, build a wall between us, we know they won't win. Now I'm walking again to the beat of a drum, and I'm counting the steps to the door of your heart. Only shadows ahead, barely clearing the roof. Get to know the feeling of liberation and release. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, will they come, build a wall between us, we know they won't win. Don't ever let them win, yeah. Don't ever let them win, no. Well, hey now, well, hey now,
Hi everybody, I'm really sorry that I can't be there this evening, and I'm really sad that we have to have this evening, but I would like to send my love and support to all the families and all the families of the people recovering in hospital. I hope you feel better very soon. I'm so sorry that we had to go through this, and I'd like to send my love and support to all the Australians and all the Balinese who have gone through this terrible tragedy. And I hope that everybody puts their hands in their pockets and helps by sending whatever little they can, because this is extremely important, and we've got to hope that this never happens again. So I send my love to you all.
Ever wanted to stay in the same place as celebrities?
You know Madonna? That's where she got married.
Andrew's living it up in style.
Next time,
Whilst we had a tremendous result last week, winning inside of 2 days, the importance of that result was put into perspective by the terrible and shocking news of the Bali bombings. To hear of so many innocent people being killed or injured was certainly shocking to all of us, and we're here to say today that we'd like to help out in any way possible.
Like all Australians, we were deeply devastated by the shocking activities that took place in Bali that night. It's going to be a tough time for many people out there that have lost family and friends, so please support them in whatever way you can.
Please phone the number on the bottom of your screen and give generously. It's a very worthwhile cause, and for all the Australian team, hope it's a very successful night.
To all of the people who have lost loved ones, to the injured, and to those of you who have people missing, I hope that your wait will be soon over. May God bless you all. Peace. Even if I'd known the ending from the start, read my part, seen us come undone. If I could have read your mind or known my heart, I'd have still believed we'd be the lucky ones. I fell for you so hard it felt like flying, and I don't know if I can ever give up trying. It's a gift to know that kind of love, if not forever, then just once in I will hear you. I will hear you. Oh, even though you may be gone, in my heart I'll be near you. I will hear you. Oh, you will always be the one. Maybe we were crazy, even trying, thinking that we'd be the lucky ones, living in a world that's made a fool of love, and imagining our hope would be enough. But when you love someone that much, you just believe that together you can calm the storm and seas. Well, we lost the bet, but I won't regret the time we always had together. I will hear you. I will hear you. Oh, even though you may be gone, in my heart I'll be near you. I will hear you. Oh, you will always be the one. Maybe in another time, another place, love will find a way to finally save us. You gotta believe. Oh, I will hear you. Oh, even though you may be gone, here in my heart I'm near you. I will hear you. Oh, you will always be the one. I will hear you. Oh, yes, yes, I will.
Hi, I'm Georgie Parker. On behalf of the cast and crew and production office of everyone at All Saints, I would like to say that with the whole of Australia, every time we read the newspaper and every time we watch the news, we grieve. So I would like to ask everyone who is watching this show right now to reach into their pocket, open their purse up, and even if it's $1, to phone the number at the bottom of your screen now and to donate it, because if we all do it, it will make a huge difference. Come on, you can do it.
Thank you, Georgie. The number to call across Australia on the 7 network is 1800 339 888, as you just saw on the screen. Well, we're now back in Perth, where we have a very eager panel ready to read out some pledges. Unfortunately, Paul and Ditch had to run to make a plane to Perth Airport, so they've been replaced by Abe and Scott, both from Always Greener. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank you for having us here.
Abe, if you'd like to start off with the pledges.
With a pledge, sure. Do you want the message of support as well?
Go ahead.
We've got David J. Browning from East Hawthorn in Victoria, and he's donated $50. And also the ones I've been given, this is my favourites, from your friends the Kiwis, Maine and Nikki from New South Wales, and that says, from New Zealand to Oz, as much rivalry we have with each other, we still feel your pain and hope you will all recover and carry on.
Nice thoughts. Scotty.
Okay, I have one from Sally Matheson from Benalla, and she's donated $50. Thank you very much for that. And I've got a message from Amy Cantrell, who's 13, from New South Wales, and she says, it's a tragedy and has touched everyone. Lots of love to all, and let's stay Australians. And also just another little story about giving. We've had a telethon here for the last 24 hours in Perth. We had the Kingsley Football Club in here. Their trip to Bali was obviously cut short. They had $1,800 left over from that trip, which they donated to the telethon. So, I mean, that's giving. They've gone through huge tragedy, and they're still giving. So, get on the phone, guys.
Extraordinary. Marty.
I have an extraordinary pledge here for $10,000 from a Holly Fisher in New South Wales. Thank you very much. Now, I have a message of support from Kylie, age 17 in New South Wales. My name is Kylie, and a friend of mine named Ben is over in Bali at the moment. He is from Forster, New South Wales, and I just hope he is okay. My love and prayers go to the families of all the people that were wounded or killed. Ben, I hope you are okay. Love, Kylie.
Katrina.
I have a message of support from Lynn Randall from New South Wales. Our son and his girlfriend knew the missing players from the Forbes Rugby Club, and they've been touched by this tragedy. Our tears are for those whose kids haven't come home or have come home injured and very scared. Our Aussie flag has been half-mast all week, and our thoughts and wishes are with those who are suffering. Please, please keep up the Aussie spirit in times of adversity.
Thanks, everyone. Well, there have been countless stories of heroism out of Bali this week, of those who helped rescue others at the club, of those who responded to the call to arms at the hospital. They asked for nothing but did everything to save the lives of so many and give support where it was most needed. Here's David Richardson.
1, 2, 3. Slowly. Very high. Very high. Up. All the way across. Come on. Down.
There was chaos down here and there were patients everywhere. Like a war zone. Something I wouldn't like to go through again.
The heroes of the Bali bombing, people who walked into hospitals offering to help, to do anything. People like Adelaide nurse Jackie Mitchell.
I felt sick in my stomach. I wanted to just stay in the hotel, but I knew that I would be needed here.
And what about Perth doctor Vijayasakharan and his wife Priya? Two of the first Aussies to walk into this nightmare.
Pretty horrific from our point of view here. I would say a disaster, we would term a major disaster.
Yeah, I've never seen so many people pull together so quickly to try and help people.
Richard and Jill bandaged the injured at their hotel near the bomb site and helped distressed relatives back in Australia.
There were still 65 missing from the hotel, and some of these people we were drinking with, friends that we've made here, are still missing.
Back home safely with his family, Vij doesn't see himself as a hero.
I don't think we're heroes. Definitely not.
We're just doing what we pretty much trained to do.
Yeah, every other doctor would have done the same thing. And the real heroes are the patients, I think, and the volunteers.
Because basically there was a volunteer per patient at least, and there was someone with each patient for the whole day, people they'd never met before. which really made it easy for us to do what we did.
And that's why to us, Vij, Priya and so many other Aussie volunteers are true heroes.
Back in the Telethon Perth studio, I'd like you please to welcome everyone, Priya and Vij. Okay, you two had your first night back at home, your first sleep back at home last night. How was it?
Very refreshing, yep. Lovely to be home and secure. And reunited with our dog Misty, which was really nice. Just really good to be back in Australia.
Who was the little guy who ran up to you at the airport there?
Oh, he's our nephew Harry,
Okay.
who's 2.5 and was all go last night. It was great.
It must be kind of strange, though, to be back in many ways with what the intense emotional experience you've had.
It is strange to be back, but you know, as we said, we were just doing what we're trained to do, and we weren't doing anything special. And I really, you know, coming back home, going back to work today, seeing all those burns patients, and really the amount of work that has been done at Royal Perth, you know, it really typifies the spirit, and they've been working around the clock at Royal Perth with the burns victims. So
the job certainly is by no means over, isn't it?
The job is a long way from over. Burns are an injury that essentially scars you for life, both physically and functionally, and in many cases emotionally. And really, it's a long road for all those patients, and they could really do with every bit of help they can get. They've got a great team looking after them at Royal Perth, one of the leading burns units, and they could do with your support, I suppose.
Priya, one last question. When you get a bit of distance from the experience that you've had, how do you think you might look back on it?
I think it's fair to say, I mean, Vij trotted off to work early this morning, but I was at home and I had time to reflect on what had happened. We actually stayed on in Bali until last night, and it's weird being in the place where the bomb occurred. In a way, distances you from the emotions and pain that's being felt in Australia. And I found myself close to tears a couple of times today. Certainly coming into the studio and watching people give generously for this appeal brings tears to my eyes, so yeah.
Well, this guy's got to get to work. We better let him go. Priya and Vij, thank you both very much, and thanks for everything you've done. A big round of applause, everyone. Across the 7 network, this is Australians Unite, the Red Cross appeal for Bali. We'll return with more in just a moment.
America and Australia are close friends. We value our friendship. We remember so well after September the 11th, 2001, your prayers, your sympathies, your strong support, and we will never forget it. On this sad day, on this day of mourning, America is with you in spirit. May God bless the victims and their families. May God heal the injured. And may God continue to bless Australia.
The legendary story.
Ooh, he's got a terrible tragedy, and our hearts are out to the victims and their families. We urge you to call the number on your screen and make a donation to Australians Unite to support the Red Cross relief efforts. Thank you.
The number is 1-800-339-888. We've got a lot of big stars answering the phones right now. Brad Johnson, Rowan Smith, Nathan Buckley's there, the big fish. So please ring up, send some money. 1-800-339-888. Got a new panel for you. Damien Oliver, our Premier Jockey. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks, Andrew.
What have you got?
I've got Dr. P. Johnson, $200, and I'd also like to say there, it was 40,000 people at Caulfield Cup yesterday. If any one of those 40,000 had a win on the races, please donate some money.
Be worthwhile, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Nikki, now you were at that concert this morning in the Domain.
That's right. It was a great thing. We were just trying to give something back to those people that have lost somebody or know somebody. And there was performers, Casey Chambers, myself, John Farnham, and you'll be hearing from Casey Chambers and John Farnham later on. But I have a message from Fatima, Praven and Susan Krishna from New South Wales. We express our grief and sympathy at the tragic loss of your loved ones.
Thanks, Nikki. Jane Alsop from Blue Hill. It's nice to have you here too.
Thank you. I've got a pledge here from Caroline Southwell in Ivanhoe East, and they've donated $500, so thank you very much for that.
Okay, Alison White, how are you going?
I'm good, thanks, Andrew. Very well.
You're looking very good pregnant at the moment.
Thank you. Very round. I've got a beautiful message from Ebony in Tasmania, my home state. She's 9 years old, and she says, "To those who suffered, may God be with you all at this times now and forever." Thank you, Ebony.
Thank you, Alison. And
on you, Mighty.
And Tim.
How about you? Yeah. Look, I've got a great one to read out. I'm very lucky. DWS Advanced Business Solutions have dug really deep after this. Just what a terrible experience. They're donating $50,000 tonight, which is just... Thank you.
Extremely generous.
But what a wonderful, wonderful gesture that is. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I just want to read you out a message of support from 19-year-old David in Victoria. Have a listen to this, guys. "It takes but a moment to become attached to someone, and a day to love someone, but it takes a lifetime to forget someone. The memories of all who were either injured or fatally wounded shall forever live on in the heart of this great country." A beautifully worded sentiment. Sonia in Sydney, I imagine you're hearing much of the same.
Absolutely, Melissa. And our celebrities are doing a magnificent job taking the calls that are coming through. Australians are pulling together. It's fantastic to see. And I'm with Rebecca Cartwright from Home and Away. Viewers would know her as Hayley. Now, Rebecca, you were recently in Bali in the Sari Club.
Yes, that's right. And so my heart goes out to all those people that lost loved ones in this tragedy, and also any Australians out there who also just give us a call or make a donation, because when you do actually know the place and know people that were there, it is a lot closer to home.
It's a lot of people around your age group too, Beck, isn't it?
Yes, yep. And just reading people as young as 19, it's quite upsetting to think that it's someone just like me.
Definitely. So keep those pledges coming through. I've got a couple of people I'd like to thank who've called up. 14-year-old Renee, who is a relative of one of the missing people, has donated $10, and that's her birthday money. 10-year-old Shannon Ryan from Umina in New South Wales has donated $5 from the National Australia Bank. There are 3 ways that you can donate money. Call now, go to the National Australia Bank and make your donation over the counter, or go to our website, www.australiansunite.com.au. And also Graham Johnston has donated $1,000. He's from Sandplay in Tasmania. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Graham. Naomi.
Thank you, Sonia. Well, I now have a new panel of guests, and with me here is rock legend Jimmy Barnes, Harvey Norman's Jerry Harvey, and Home and Away star Lynn McGranger. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, Naomi.
Now, Jimmy, you were actually in Bali when the blast went off, weren't you?
Yeah, it was, I guess, but by the grace of God, I wasn't in there.
In fact, your daughters had been at the Sari Club on the Thursday night, hadn't they?
Yeah, on the Thursday, a couple of nights, I think, they'd actually been down there. We were doing, we did a couple of shows in the Hard Rock there, and, you know, my kids just went out and went to the bar where all the young Aussies were going, and that was the Sari Club, and, you know, I'm just, you know, I guess, you know, it's one of those things that really makes you realise how much you have to cherish every moment you have with your loved ones, because, you know, but by the grace of God, you know, they could be gone. Really, my heart goes out to anybody out there who lost loved ones or anybody who's injured, because it's just, you know, it's a true tragedy. It's, you know.
What was it like for you that night? Because you'd been out to dinner, hadn't you?
Yeah, I've been to some friends' place having dinner. We left, we were thinking, actually, because it was our last night in Bali, we were thinking about going down to Legian Street and doing a little bit of shopping with the youngest daughter. And but, you know, we were tired, we had to fly the next day, and it was just, you know, we decided to go home. We drove home. I literally got back into my hotel room, the phone rang, it was our friends from dinner saying, don't leave your hotel. I looked at the sky, there's flashes, I could see the flames. It was just, you know, a nightmare. You sort of, I guess we felt, you know, very vulnerable, very, you know, and very helpless. There was not much, you know, just didn't realise anything you could do.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? In Bali, you really do expect to be safe, don't you? It's such a It's an entertainment, it's a party island, and it's where you go to relax.
It is, and it's, you know, it has been for a long time. It's a sort of mecca for young Australians just to go and relax, and the whole atmosphere. That's my first trip. The whole atmosphere there is very laid back. They're very gentle people. All the Aussies and the Brits and everybody that are on holiday there are just, you know, they're just in a totally defenceless mode. They're literally let their guards down after a big year, a lot of those footy clubs and stuff, and they're just there to just relax and have a good time, and it was just, you know, it was a horrible thing, you know.
It really is. Well, you're not just here to talk to us, you're also here to perform for us, so I'm going to let you go and prepare for that. You can sneak off.
I'll be the guy sneaking
and
away
I'll
when you're
speak
looking
to
for me.
Jerry. Thank you for that. Now, Jerry Harvey from Harvey Norman, I believe that you have a very generous donation for us tonight from Harvey Norman.
Yes, we'd like to put in $50,000 to the...
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Very generous. That's wonderful. But we've also been receiving many messages of support, haven't we?
Yes, well, there's two here. One's from the Embassy of the United States of America. The staff and management of the Embassy of the United States of America wish to pass our deepest sympathy to those who died and survived the terror attack at Bali last week. The United States government is committed to winning the war against terrorism. And another one from a girl called Emma. She's 3 from South Australia. Nana took me to church to light a candle. The church was like a castle.
Oh, it's fabulous, isn't it? Well, Lynn McGranger from Home and Away is here, and Lynn, it is an emotional time, isn't it? You've been on the phones, haven't you, back here, and it's amazing the support we've been getting.
It's incredible, Naomi. As soon as you put the phone down, it rings again. It's exhausting, but it's a kind of a wonderful exhaustion too, because, you know, we feel like we're doing something to help, and we send our love, and may God bless everybody in this country and everybody in the world who has been affected by this terrible, terrible tragedy. And our thoughts and our love and all of our hope is with everyone who is affected.
Now, you haven't personally been touched as such, but...
Thank God, no.
Once removed, haven't you?
I have, and it occurred to me, people talk about 6 degrees of separation, but I suddenly realised that I'm affected by 2 degrees. I know somebody who knows somebody who was killed in the blast. And I realised that most people in this country are probably in the same boat. But if we stop to think about it, we're only talking 2 or 3 degrees of separation, and that brings it very close to home.
It really does bring it home, doesn't it?
And of course, the generosity of the Australian people is coming to the fore, as we can see in the background.
It is amazing, isn't it?
And it's
how Australians get together at a time like this.
That's right. And out of tragedy comes this incredible joy that makes you go, you know, we're not going to take this crap.
No, absolutely not. Well, to do so and to help those people who have been victims of this tragedy, don't forget the number to call for donations. It's 1800 339 888. Now, there have been lots of calls, so please be patient if you don't get through initially. You can also post a message or light a candle online at www.australiansunite.com. And now here, live in the studio, Jimmy Barnes singing Higher and Higher.
Disappointment was my close
Hey, there's no one like him. Jimmy Barnes there, supported by his daughters. Now, Perth will be leaving us after the break to go to their news, but everybody else, please stay with us. Keep the phones ringing. More tributes are coming in. We've still got John Farnham, Powderfinger and Casey Chambers.
Hi, I'm Mick Doohan. I lend my support to the victims of the Bali terror.
On behalf of myself and the Holden Racing team, send our deepest condolences to the friends and family affected by that sort of tragedy. It certainly brings to the fore how fragile life is.
The thing that's made me proud, though, is the incredible way that all of Australia has got behind the people over there. Average Australians who are in Bali, helping out, doing everything they can, and loved ones looking for friends, family, and helping everybody find the people that they love.
My thoughts and prayers go out to all the families who were impacted by the terrible tragedy of Bali recently. So come on, Australia, let's unite. Dial the number on the screen and donate.
Got some shady characters lurking in your garden?
I love solving problems like this.
Big trees that cause problem spots. We have just the thing to fix.
Day of mourning, Australians stopped at midday for a minute's silence and sombre services paid tribute. Tonight, thousands are gathering at the Kingsley Park home of the Kingsley Football Club. Rick Arden is there. Rick, an unprecedented turnout.
Yes, Paula, this club really does epitomise the spirit of Australians who have come together tonight to remember those who didn't make it and to mourn as well. Behind me at the moment, I'm sure you can see there must be at least 5,000 people, and the service doesn't start until 6:30 in half an hour. It'll go to 7:30, and there are a lot of people here in what really is a public outpouring of grief. As we already know, the coach of the Kingsley Football Club, Simon Quayle, is here, and he really has, with his teammates, as I said, epitomised the spirit of Australians. They relentlessly searched for their mates through Bali, couldn't find them, and now so many more Australians are trying to help in any way they can. The service tonight will have Father Brian Morrison, who'll be conducting services. In fact, I have a running sheet here. He'll welcome people at 6:30, and then Father Brian Morrison will speak about what has happened and invite other people to speak as well. So the crowd building here at Kingsley Football Club, so many people coming together. We've seen it on TV before, but I can tell you personally, being here, it is just so sad. But also there's hope for the future with Australians combining together. But all around Australia today, our nation was united in grief and sorrow for the victims of Bali.
Australians brought together by the most horrific tragedy, paying their respects on this National Day of Mourning for victims of the Bali bombing.
And this week reminds us just how fragile and precious is human life and how suddenly it can be lost.
At Government House, thousands came with flowers, candles and incense, leaving their thoughts and prayers in condolence books as a permanent reminder.
We are united in this, just as we have surely been strengthened by the courage and commitment to each other of those who survived this horror.
Across the country, Australians were united in their grief, mourning not only for the victims of the attack, but for the many families who lost their loved ones. At Parliament House in Canberra, the Prime Minister and Mrs Howard prayed for the dead and the missing, lighting a candle as a tribute to the lives lost. In Sydney, the nation's biggest commemoration service, a simple song prompting an outpouring of grief. Nikki Webster with a personal tribute to a lost friend. The Prime Minister then urging Australians to come together.
Embrace not only each other, but all the peoples of the world in peace.
In Adelaide, the Air Force paid tribute to a missing man with a formation over the city. And in Queensland, floral tributes from surfers after a traditional ceremony at sea. Country towns banded together, hundreds mourning with the survivors of the Forbes Rugby Club.
Although Brad, Paul and Greg, or Ridge, Crowe and Sando as we know them, are not with us today, they will never be forgotten and will be with us in spirit always.
And in WA, special church services offered comfort to the victims and their families.
Physical wounds
Well, in time, we hope and pray they will be healed. But the emotional and physical scars will remain.
Religious leaders urging people to remain strong.
We cannot be cowed into submission. We cannot live in fear. Life must go on.
On the stroke of midday, a minute's silence. The English cricket team in Perth also mourning the loss of up to 30 British lives. The city's bells then pealing in unison. Simon Dowding, 7 News.
Australians have united to raise money for the victims of the Bali attack. Some of our best entertainers coming together for the Seven Network's televised national appeal. For the Kingsley Football Club, it was just one part of an emotion-charged day. 52 members of the football club joined the appeal at Channel 7's Perth studios in a moving show of unity and strength. And the emotion is far from over for the Kingsley Football Club. Its candlelight vigil is about to begin. We take you there live again. Rick Arden is standing by. Rick.
Yes, Paula, the crowd now must be out to 6,000 or 7,000 people, and it hasn't even started yet. They're expecting 10,000 to 15,000 people. In a moment, we'll speak with Simon Quayle, the inspirational coach of Kingsley Football Club, but you should be seeing pictures of them arriving back and just repeating the situation from the Kingsley point of view. One of their players is confirmed dead and 6 are still missing, and they searched everywhere in Bali. In the true spirit of this club, and in fact the true spirit of Australia, these guys banded together and decided they wouldn't leave until they found all of their missing mates. It's been revealed tragically that just hasn't been possible. So they've flown back to Perth, and that's why so many people are here tonight at the Kingsley Football Club to remember and to pray for the future. As I said, I have with me now Simon Quayle, the coach of the Kingsley Football Club. Now, Simon, we played together at Scarborough, and from your point of view, you've come to this club. It was a case of everybody going away together to have a wonderful time. This has happened. What's your reaction to all these people here?
Just overwhelming, Rick. It's all the support, not just here today, but all the support has just been overwhelming. Every emotion under the sun we've experienced, from happiness, sadness, joy. I just can't believe how many people here. Just obviously it's the Kingsley Football Club, predominantly the 7 people, but it's Australia wide. It's WA wide, 50 families in WA specifically. So it's for everyone.
Well, good luck for the future, Simon. We hope everything goes well in the future.
Thanks very much, Rick.
Okay, that's the situation. Paula here at the Kingsley Football Club. It's back to you.
Thanks, Rick. And in Bali, Australians have reflected and remembered on our National Day of Mourning, with tributes, ceremonies and a candlelight vigil on Kuta Beach. 7 News reporter Paul Caddack is there. Paul, it's been a sombre affair.
Paula, on a day of grieving for Australia in Bali, they grieved alongside Indonesians and citizens from many countries who all lost loved ones in the bombing tragedy. Right now, behind me down on Kuta Beach, a candlelight vigil is underway. Just one of several gatherings recently down there to remember and also to heal for both Australians and the Balinese, long-time friends now united in grief.
On Kuta Beach, a ceremony to set free the spirits of those killed. And then a familiar song.
Australia, all let us rejoice, for are we young and free.
For the Australians, it was a touching moment.
It was very moving. I've never seen a ceremony like this before.
Later last night, exactly a week after the blast, they gathered to remember. A lone priest stood among the carnage. Others offered prayers and tributes. At the command post set up by the Australian Federal Police, dozens of officers are meticulously compiling information. Among the equipment, an ion scan that can detect minute traces of explosives.
We really have to take things slowly and surely, and at the end of the day, really piece the whole thing together.
Yeah, mate. Among the evidence, this video taken inside the Sari Club just minutes before the attack. It was handed to Federal Police today by surfer Ben Silk. He survived the blast because he went to the bathroom.
It's just shocking, you know. You don't know, a lot of these people that are on this film didn't make it out there.
With evidence still being collected, Australian police were concerned because locals were pushing to have the scene reopened to the public as early as Wednesday. That plan's now on hold. In Java, supporters of radical cleric Abu Bakar Bashir protested outside the hospital where he's being held under tight security.
Maybe Ustad Abu Bakar Basir pretending.
The Jamaah Islamiyah leader remains